I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, I am for real. Ain't nobody do this me. I'm just so fresh and so clean, baby. You are the prototype. Roses really smell like boo.
Try one more time.
What you gonna do?
You'll see.
Big teeth. Bite me?
I think that you, at one point, felt disconnected from rap.
Yeah, only because there's so much happening right now, and
Yeah.
you know, you don't get the rap calls like, "Hey, jump on this beat," or I haven't been rapping. Like, I don't hang around the studio. I don't sit and try to rap, which I miss those times a lot. But it's like life changes, life moves on, and you know, we've all explored. We all just keep going, you know.
Yeah.
André 3000. That name still hits hard in hip-hop history. But what's the real story behind his disappearing act? The guy who had everyone obsessed with his bold style, genre-twisting beats, and that smooth, unmatched flow just vanished when the world was begging for more. So, what happened? Did the fame finally get to him? Did he and Big Boy have a fallout? Or did he just decide he was too good for the rap game? Let's get into it and break down the real story behind André 3000's quiet exit from the spotlight. André Lauren Benjamin, born on May 27, 1975, in Atlanta, Georgia, grew up as an only child, raised by his hardworking single mom. All she wanted was for her son to stay in school, steer clear of trouble, and maybe even settle into a respectable career.
The only struggle we had was kind of like school, like deciding school and rhyming, you know. And my mom, you know, trying to tell me, you know, to hell with that rap, go to school. I want you to be an artist or whatever, you know, because I draw and paint and stuff like that. So she was like, still do this, you know.
But André, he had no interest in a quiet life. He had star power from the start, always finding ways to stand out. In middle school, he and his buddy T-Bone formed a little rap duo called 4.0, delivering Just Say No raps at talent shows.
We used to write raps, like kind of like Say No to Drug raps, because that was the thing going on at the time.
Yes, anti-drug rhymes were all the rage back then, and they loved every second.
Me and my homeboy T-Bone, who's in the group 4.0 now.
But soon enough, André's attention drifted, and he turned his focus to sports, putting music on the back burner.
After we did that, kind of fell out of it, got into sports, wanted, you know, play ball or whatever.
It seemed like he might leave it behind for good, until he discovered Rakim.
Hit the studio, cause I'm paid in full.
Rakim's verses struck something deep, and suddenly, André was back at it, writing rhymes with a whole new sense of purpose.
Eric being Rakim, and Rakim made me want to start writing again, so, you know, I just used to like the way he put words together and stuff like that.
And just in time, he crossed paths with a guy who shared his passion for music and ambition for greatness, Big Boy.
Started writing again, and then that's when I hooked up with Big Boy.
The two of them clicked instantly, bonding over the kind of albums no one else at school even cared about.
We made a group. We used to just sit down and listen to albums, what we thought was great albums, you know, like people out of high school. They went into certain albums that we went to, like a lot of people from my school didn't like, you know, a Tribe Called Quest album or a De La Soul album. And, I mean, we thought those were great albums, and we were listening to those albums and listening to stuff like Raheem the Dream, saying Two Live Crew, Dodge Fix, whatever was going on at the time.
They'd spend hours listening to records.
We used to just watch videos and say, man, we can do that, and we can probably actually do it better, you know, than some of the other people out there doing it.
That spark between them? It was pure magic, and they were ready to bring it to the world. As a teenager, André was already playing by his own rules. And trust, they weren't the do-your-homework kind of rules. Every morning, his dad would drop him off at school, thinking he was doing the right thing. But the second that car was out of sight, André was out, gone. School wasn't his vibe, and his mind was always on bigger things, mainly music.
Like my dad would drop me off in front of the school as soon as he bent the corner. I bent the corner too. and went over to Reek crib.
He barely made it through the halls before he was cutting class to do what he loved. It wasn't until Outkast blew up and they were deep into recording their second album that André finally caved and got his diploma. Night classes at Washington High was how he made it happen. But once he had that piece of paper, he was free to chase his dream. And he didn't waste a minute.
I didn't graduate until we started working on the second album. I went to Washington High Night School, and then over back to making these songs.
And the results were legendary. When Southern Playalistic Idyllic Music dropped in 1994, Outkast wasn't just entering the game, they were changing it. Thanks to Diddy, who shot their first video and pulled them into bigger stages, André and Big Boy quickly found themselves rubbing elbows with giants like Biggie Smalls.
We even had an album complete. We were flying out doing shows. Our first show was with Biggie. This was when he was hip-hop Biggie. You know, he had the bandana on, the boots and stuff, you know, doing real hip-hop rhyming. And actually, Puffy had brought us up there because Puffy shot our first video.
But they didn't stop there. By the time the speaker box, The Love Below, hit, they were diamond certified, moving over 10 million copies in the U.S. alone. Outkast wasn't just a group. They were icons, representing the South and delivering a sound that no one could touch. But André wasn't just a rapper with a crazy flow. He was also a straight-up music nerd. He learned over 30 wind instruments, and not just for fun.
Yeah. How many wind instruments do you have now?
I haven't counted, but I'd say maybe 30.
Each gives you a different sound, a different feeling?
Yes. Each flute is its own kind of life.
He's been sneaking out his wind instrument music under secret names of well-known artists.
I've actually played some wind things that I've put out in the world that I call myself another name under different artists that are out there that, you know, I was just kind of testing it out in a way.
Wait, so you have anonymous wind recordings out there already?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. From known artists.
Really?
And they've been cool about keeping it secret.
He's also been spotted out in public, casually playing the flute, like it's just another Tuesday for him. Fame? Sure, it's a blessing, but he says it's also a curse. And honestly, who could blame him? It's one of the reasons he spends most of his time solo.
I try to do things and I really get enjoyment. Like, I don't have bodyguards, man. I'm my only child, so I go everywhere by myself. You know, I actually love to go to the laundromat and wash clothes. Like, I love that, man. Like, I love being in the most normal place I can be. Yeah. You know, because even if it's, I could buy a washer and dry and wash at home. Yeah. But it's something about going to the laundromat and sitting there.
It's social.
Yeah.
It is social.
Let's get into the romance that had the streets buzzing. Erykah Badu. Now, André and Erykah were the definition of couple goals. If goals were full of passion, drama, and enough plot twists to keep everyone guessing. They kicked things off in 1995, and from jump, it was clear their connection was magnetic. André, the mysterious low-key genius, and Erykah, the bohemian queen of neo-soul with her wild energy and unapologetic spirit. Their chemistry was the electric, and it didn't just show in the music.
Hey, hello.
Leave your phone unlocked and right side up. Walk out the room without throwing your off balance.
It spilled over into their lives in the messiest, most dramatic ways possible. Public arguments, heart-to-heart moments, and everything in between. This wasn't some simple love story. This was a full-on emotional roller coaster. Their love hit a major high in 1997 when they welcomed their son, Seven Sirius Benjamin. Their world shifted, and little Seven became their everything.
He's a huge fan of his father.
Wow.
And he's a huge fan of us personally. You know, he respects us as humans, as people. Yeah. You know, I'm not just mom, I'm Erykah. You know, he's not just daddy, he's André.
But as we know, not all fairy tales last forever. By 1999, their relationship came to a dramatic end. And when it did, André wasn't about to just move on in silence. No, sir. He took his pain, his apology, and poured it into one of the most iconic tracks in hip-hop, Ms. Jackson.
Sorry, Miss Jackson, never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize.
That song, an entire mood. A smooth, heartfelt apology to Erica's mom, telling the world, yeah, I messed up. It was personal, relatable, and ultimately a love letter wrapped in vulnerability. And it became the ultimate anthem for anyone who's ever had to eat a little humble pie after a breakup.
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
After that split, the rumors about André's love life went into overdrive. Fling after fling followed him like a shadow, but none of them came close to the fire he had with Erica. These days, he's kept his love life tight. Unlike a lot of his peers who wear their relationships like trophies, André's been low-key, keeping things under wraps.
I haven't been making much music, man. My focus is not there. My confidence is not there. I tinker a lot. Like I'll just go to a piano and I'll set my iPhone down and just record what I'm doing, move my fingers around and whatever happens. But I hadn't been motivated to do a serious project.
Some say it's his way of avoiding drama, while others believe it's his way of protecting his peace and staying out of the public eye. One thing's for sure, though. His time with Erykah Badu will always be one of the most talked about chapters of his life, and no one has ever quite matched the kind of magic they had together.
Got a special thing. Oh, he just told how he felt.
Yeah.
And it was his honest feelings, and I've always respected that.
André's struggles weren't just about love or relationships. It's that hip-hop world he once ruled. He's over it, and he's not shy about admitting it. These days, he's feeling more like an outsider than ever.
But being famous really sucks, man. Like, it's so unhuman. Like, I can't remember his name, but there was this classical pianist that said it's actually unnatural and actually detrimental to a human to have that much admiration because it actually changes the way you think.
Watching as the rap game leaves him behind.
You've said, I think, that you at one point felt disconnected from rap.
Yeah, only because there's so much happening right now, and
Yeah.
you don't get the rap calls like, "Hey, jump on this beat," or and you have to be doing something to be a rapper. You got to be rapping.
Yeah.
I haven't been rapping. Like, I don't hang around the studio. I don't sit and try to rap every day. So it's just not even a lifestyle. Like when I was younger, and that's all I did when I was younger.
Yeah.
And especially like starting out ground zero at the dungeon, like we lived in the studio.
Yeah.
Like, which I miss those times a lot, but it's like life changes, life moves on, and we've all explored. We all just keep going,
Yeah.
That fire, it's just not there. He's even called himself disconnected from the culture, and it's not hard to see why. Rap has evolved, and André just isn't keeping up. It's almost like the genre moved on without him, and he's cool with it. But don't think for a second that André's lost his creative spark. Oh no, he's just channeling it elsewhere. Instead of locking himself in a studio, he's been focused on things that feel true to him now. Sure, fans might not be getting the next rap album they expected, but what he's creating is so much more real. Recently, André's stepped into acting, and he's been showing off that talent in a big way. Remember when he became Jimi Hendrix in All Is By My Side?
What's the name again, mate? Jimi Hendrix.
He completely transformed, and people took notice. He also flexed his comedic chops in Semi-Pro,
It's our season, and we gonna finish it.
Revolver,
People hate and fear us just like you will learn to hate and fear us.
and The Four Brothers.
Close your mouth, Angel. Think you a cow or something?
Talk about range. But André wasn't done yet. He even created Class of 3000 for Cartoon Network, the animated series that brought his unique vibe to TV.
Now, Philly Phil, you and Lil D, y'all hold that groove tight. Hypnotize them so you can take them where you want to take them.
It didn't last, but let's be real, the impact is still there. Fans loved how André poured his energy and creativity into the show. What's clear now is that André's no longer chasing after rap's approval or trying to stay in the spotlight. He's doing his own thing, his way. Forget being the guy who hops on any random beat. Now he's the I'll drop what I want when I want guy. And guess what? He's living his best life, and he's perfectly fine with that. Through all of this, André's net worth has climbed to an estimated $35 million thanks to his musical success, acting gigs, and his fashion line, Benjamin Bixby. Diagnosed with social anxiety and hypersensitivity, he's open about how he prefers solitude.
And so that's when I said, like, if I had brothers and sisters, I wouldn't have to worry about certain things.
Yes.
With social anxiety disorder, like I was diagnosed years ago, and hypersensitivity. Like with that kind of thing, isolation is not good, but I feel most comfortable being isolated. So I spend 95% of my time by myself.
Yes.
And it's not uncommon for fans to spot him alone at a laundromat. There's something meditative about it for him. A reminder of simpler times when he'd hang out at the laundromat as a kid before all the fame. So where's André 3000 today? He's still out there, still keeping it low-key, and still holding on to his creativity in unexpected ways. And while he may never be the André that fans once knew, dancing, rapping, and sparking new trends on stage, his legacy as one of hip-hop's most mysterious and influential figures is sealed.